Now, as the people of South Africa fight to defeat the problem of illegal immigration in South Africa, we have just discovered something else about ourselves as South Africans. We've discovered that we have a problem of elitism in the country. And another problem that actually goes with that is that we have a problem of educated people who are too educated. I don't know how this sounds, but this is exactly what is happening. Our educated people are too educated today in South Africa to live in reality. This means that they are so educated to the point that they don't live in the reality that we live in today, where we live under the sun and we see the sky as blue. To them, the sky is yellow, the sky is red. And today, as the people of South Africa fight the problem of illegal immigration, these educated people say, no, that does not exist. The sky is not blue. The sky is red. The sky is yellow. You people are not seeing well. Ask us. The educated people will tell you. Ask us, the elites who live in these luxurious places, who live in these luxurious estates, where we have a top of the sky view of this world that you live in. The problems that you're experiencing, you're not experiencing them. They don't exist. The people, or the educated people like Anele Hammond, who debuted on the socials in the few months past, I think it was 2025, when she was speaking about her problem with Standard Bank, where she wanted to buy an expensive luxury car and she had problems there. When she started to speak about that online, people sympathized with her, and that's where she became known. But today, she has become an expert in her own right, where she is an expert in politics, in Pan Africanism, in Ubuntu, and everything else. And Anele Hammond is telling South Africans today, she's telling Much and Much and Jacinta and all of the people who are fighting illegal immigration in South Africa that you are hate groups. You are not fighting for the good of South Africa. You are fighting against our brothers and sisters. You're fighting against Pan Africanism. You're fighting against Africa as a whole, because South Africa is supposed to allow all of these illegal immigrants to come into South Africa. It's supposed to take in all the people from African countries who are on welfare and are not able to afford the living, the healthcare, the day-to-day living, like feeding themselves. South Africa is supposed to take them in, and they have to come into South Africa and live in the shacks and build the shacks around the cities and live in the RDP houses and stuff like that. She says that is Ubuntu. That is Pan Africanism. And if you don't stand for that, you are a hater, you are a bigot, and you are not supposed to be called an African. You are an Afrophobe. You are a xenophobic individual. You don't deserve to be called South African. That is Anele Hammond. I want us to watch this video here, this clip here by Anele Hammond, as she was speaking according to her intellect, according to her education, according to her elite top of the sky view of the world or this country as she sees things. And then we'll go into the details and actually look into the reality of the matter, whether her reality of the sky being red and yellow is correct over those who see the sky as blue under the sun. Let's watch this video.
Number one, I will tell you for a fact that fellow Africans are not the problem here. And to prove it, I'd like us to make a date, 1st of July. Angithi the marchers are going to kick everybody out by the 30th of June. Let's do stock taking on the 1st of July, 2026. Let's see. At the moment, youth unemployment is 62%. Please, can we do stock taking on the 1st of July and see how you have improved youth unemployment by kicking out Africans out of South Africa? Let's see how many jobs you'd have created for our youth. Number 2, let's look at the crime stats and see how much crime has reduced by kicking out our fellow brothers and sisters out of their own continent. Please, can we do that assessment on the 1st of July? That will tell you if Africans were a problem in the first place or if you have been played. I bet on the latter. I'm saying you are being played. I'll tell you what Africa needs. What we need is not to be controlled by colonizers. What we need is to come together and rebuild our continent. What we need is to avoid and refuse to be divided and conquered by the evil forces of the West. What has happened in South Africa is we have been failed by what you call a government. Lamaspaza shops and Kalangao, Uguti Pakistani, Nama, Somalians are running spaza shops. Your Minister of Small Businesses was given 500 million to give South Africans to start small businesses. Where is it? You want to march? I will lead your march. Let us go and march that we keep the Justice Madlanga Commission on. Let's go and march that we find a budget to keep them on. Now they want to remove the Madlanga Commission. Why? Because it is arresting them. They are taking your focus away from the evil they are doing against humanity. And they are pointing at Africans. You want to march? Let's march against government corruption. Let's march against law enforcement corruption. How many top cops are in jail as we speak today because of the Madlanga Commission? Now there's no funding for it. Let's march for that funding. Forget Africans. That's what our eye should be on. Keep Madlanga Commission on. Let us find out who has been raping our country under the guise of leadership. They have failed us. And I have told you this, and I know you don't understand. I have said you will never be part of this economy. This is for white supremacists. Until we start our own economy, you are wasting time. You will never form part of the 7%. They are guarding it with their lives. You will never be part of it. And the government works for them. If you want to march, that's what you must march against. You must march against government corruption. You must march against the people who say there's no funds to extend the Madlanga Commission. That's what we must march against. And then, who's going to buy your products if you kick Africans out? Where are you going to export to? Because charity begins at home, and Africa is home. You need to clear the hatred in your hearts.
Well, Anele Hammond there speaking, spitting fire, saying you are bigots, you are hate groups, you are funded by white monopoly capital. You know, I've always had a problem with this white monopoly capital thing, where people hate people, white people, because they build businesses, they've got businesses, and they hate them, and they say they are the reason why South Africa is poor. If the white people who have got businesses were the reason why South Africa and South Africans are poor, we would not have the middle class because those people are employed by white companies. White companies contribute immensely in this country in employing the people and ensuring that people have got livelihoods. The biggest employer in the private sector today is the white people. So when you say they're causing the poverty in South Africa, we don't understand. Or we can have an argument on that and look at it some other day as to how it is that we also can build businesses and nothing is actually stopping us from building businesses. But today we're talking about Anele Hammond and her view of Pan-Africanism and how South Africa should not have borders. Now, I want us to look at this realistically, okay? Anele Hammond does not live in the townships. Anele Hammond does not live in the villages. So it means that she's removed from the problems of the people that live in the townships. She's removed from the problems of the people that live in the villages, where the illegal immigrants are. That's where the floodgates of illegal immigration have been opened. And these people are experiencing the difficulties in every aspect of their lives with the minimum resources that we have, because so far we are 60 million, but we still use the resources, the infrastructure that was made for 40 million people. So it's the minimum. So the little resources that they have in terms of hospitals, in terms of schools, in terms of everything else, it's actually limited. And they have to share it with all of the millions and millions of illegal immigrants who come into South Africa. But Hammond does not live among those people. She lives in a gated community. She lives in a place with her family where she doesn't fight for anything. She doesn't have to worry about security. In fact, crime in there is zero, flat zero. There's no crime in the estates. And in fact, they're talking about building malls in the estates, meaning that the people who live in the estates will not come out anymore to queue with us at ShopRite, at Pick and Pay as we go there to do our shopping. They will have their own world entirely removed from everybody else. That is the world that Anele Hammond lives in. And maybe we should forgive her for the view that she has, because she is not in the reality that we live in. She lives in a place where her children do not have to go to a class that's got 70 people in one class. She lives in a world where she does not have to go and queue to get health care at Baragwanath Hospital or any other clinic that's owned by the government, any other public clinic or hospital. She doesn't have to do all that. She goes to these private spaces and enjoy the luxury that comes with it. So when she speaks from that position. When she tells South Africans that they are haters, to say illegal migrants should be removed from their country so that at least we can have documented people who are actually budgeted for by our government, as opposed to what we have today, people just pouring into the country without being budgeted for and fighting for the resources, for the jobs, for the healthcare, for everything else with South Africans, which leaves South Africans without anything, at least of their own. So Hammond is speaking from a point of privilege. But I want you to look at another thing here about Hammond. Anele Hammond is or has done exactly what South Africans are doing today, saying that illegal migrants must leave their country so that the limited resources can be left to South Africans. She has done exactly that. How did she do it? Well, as I said, that she lives in a gated community. Why does she live in a gated community? It's because she didn't want to live in a crowded space like in the townships. Crowded by who? By illegal immigrants, by South Africans and illegal immigrants, and it's flooded there. She didn't want to live in those crowded spaces. Instead of running to oppose the government and petitioning the government and protesting on the streets, She used their money to buy herself out of that situation. Hammond fought the battle against the open borders in South Africa, and that's why today she lives in a gated community that has got borders within the borders of South Africa. As she tells South Africans that they should not fight for borders to be closed against illegal immigrants, she lives in a border that's closed against illegal immigrants. At some point, she saw it necessary. When she saw that the government has failed to secure the borders of South Africa, she took out her money and bought herself a border in a luxury estate in a suburb in South Africa. Now, today, she has her own private border, and that's why she can afford to tell South Africans that don't worry about the state borders. The state has failed to build the borders and to ensure, look at me, I've afforded my own borders within the border of South Africa. So you don't have to worry about that. You are doing hate outside there. You're supposed to allow these people to come and live with you, but not with me, because I have afforded myself a private border. It has got an electricity fence and nobody can jump it. We've got zero crime in this, and we've got zero crowding. We've got big spaces in these estates that we live in. When the police failed in the country, Anele Hammond did not go to the street to protest the government. No, she took money out of her own pocket and funded private security, where she lives today with her kids, protected from all of the illegal immigrants and all of the problems that comes with that. So the people like Anele Hammond, who are very much educated, and Julius Malema, who live in Sandton behind all of these gated communities, they actually are living in their own reality, different from all of us, the people who live outside of these gated communities, who actually have to be protected by the police, who actually depend on the borders of South Africa protecting us from illegal immigrants coming into our country. She lives in a private border of South Africa. It's not that she's living in a borderless South Africa. No, she's living in a bordered South Africa. It's just that it is within South Africa. So she can advocate as much as she wants about the borderless South Africa because she already has a border. What do you call it? Is it elitism? Is it ignorance? But in this case, I think people like Anele Hammond are being hypocrites, in the sense that, why would you deny my pain just because you live in an estate, just because you live in a gated community? Why would you deny a South African who say that I want a gated community too, but that gate has to be South Africa as it has always been? How can you deny a South African who say I want security too? I don't want crowding at the hospitals. I don't want crowding at the shacks. I don't want crowding at the RDP houses with illegal immigration, the same way that you live in your gated communities. Is it wrong of South Africans to ask that? But according to Anele Hammond and other elites who live in gated communities, it's wrong. And that, I call it hypocrisy. It is total hypocrisy for 60 million South Africans to be denied security, 60 million South Africans to be denied borders that are secure, to be denied the freedom of movement, to be denied space in the schools, in the hospitals, and everywhere else, to be denied jobs, to be denied, freedom without competing with illegal immigrants in the country. That is a hypocrisy. How can just a few people who live in a totally false reality that's a small border of an estate deny the entire South Africa of 60 million what are the freedoms that they enjoy in those estates? The schools, the private enjoyment, healthcare, and everything, how can they deny them and say, you are supposed to live on top of each other's like potatoes and everything else? That is hypocrisy. And as South Africans, we should not allow that. We cannot be dictated to by just a few individuals. The problem of illegal immigration, it should not even be a debate whether such should be allowed or not. It cannot be allowed because it's already broke our constitution. So anybody that stands to defend that, I don't know on which leg they stand. Because they don't stand on the leg of legality. And if you don't stand on the leg of legality, I mean, your point does not exist. It's irrelevant because these people are fighting for law and order in their country. If we lose law and order, we lose everything. We've got nothing. We have no security, we have nothing. And a person that has broken the law at the border is breaking every other law, whether they're in class, at school, or they're working somewhere as an illegal immigrant and not paying tax and all of that. They're breaking lots of other laws, and they continue to break laws, whether they open a spaza shop or anything else. They continue to dismantle the country of its security. So this Anele Hammond and the others who live in the elite secure estates of South Africa, they're saying South Africans do not deserve the peace that they have. And that is another level of hypocrisy. Well, guys, this will be the end of this segment. And if you made it to this point, thank you very much. Please remember to like and subscribe.